Hello, hola mis queridos, queridas, ¿cómo están? Ya estoy conectando. Vamos a empezar ahorita la conexión grupal con todas partes del mundo. Me pidieron que hiciera este intercambio de conexión para hacer una conexión de respiración, de sanación de coherencia en la práctica. Hay personas de todas partes, buenísimo. Entonces voy a voltear la cámara, voy a tener mi computadora enfrente. A ver quién está por aquí, de rojo y con mi Metatron activado para trabajar hoy el corazón, para trabajar las emociones. Entonces vamos a esperar, no sé exactamente cuánto dura, porque es una comunidad que se va a abrir con los paneles. Estoy súper emocionada de verlos a ellos, los creadores del Heart Math, con el programa que se inició para el año 2005, 2006. En el 2007, cuando los conocí, estuve en la conferencia mundial sobre la coherencia. Y pues desde el 2007 vengo trabajando con el Heart Math en la parte de la coherencia del corazón. Entonces la petición de hoy, es que le estoy mirando aquí, estoy mirando allá. La petición para hoy es, hello, hola mis amadas, amados, sanar hoy, liberar emociones que están atrapadas en nuestro campo torreal.
Welcome everyone.
Ya empezamos.
Welcome to Global Coherence Day. It's our third annual Global Coherence Day. My name is Teresa Collins, and I'm really excited to welcome you to this special Pulse event in celebration of Global Coherence Day, August 1st, 2021. I'm really excited to see so many people joining us again from all over the world. We have France and Austria. We have, Germany. We have all over the United States. Just so exciting to see so many people from all around the world. And many of you are here on Zoom. We had over 2,000 people register for this call today. We're also streaming live to Awake TV and to Facebook, Unify, and the Global Coherence page. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to join us and pulse the field with our heart-centered coherence. It really makes a difference. And today is a special day to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as a start for today, just so that we can look back at some of the other Global Coherence Day events that we've had so far. There we go. So our first Global Coherence Day event was on 2019. And this was during a live event at 1440 Multiversity. And it was a real collaborative endeavor with many different organizations, including Unify and HeartMath. And we all came together to create this beautiful event, which we had people in person and we live streamed, and we did our Global Coherence Day meditation for the first time. We had a beautiful stage. Roland McCready was with us. Greg Braden was with us. He came over Zoom. We had a fantastic time, and we really experienced the power of our collective coherence, both in the room and the people that joined us virtually from all around the world. And that first Global Coherence Day really gave birth to the Global Coherence Pulse, which is a citizen science initiative to pulse the planet with heart coherence. And in 2020, we had 25 pulse events that we did. So we've really been building the field. And we partnered with many organizations, all committed to bringing more love and coherence into the planet. Our second Global Coherence Day, August 1st, 2020, we weren't able to do a live event in person because of COVID. So we had a very special day where we had 3 pulse events, one in the morning, claiming our coherence. In the afternoon, we had Nassim Haramein joining us to really talk about the science behind our coherence pulses. And in the evening, we had a Soul Salon celebration with Jess Magic, who also joined us in our first Global Coherence Pulse event. And that wasn't enough. We followed that event by a month-long experience with many of our Pulse partners where we really got to deepen our understanding and our practice and our embodiment of heart-centered coherence. That gave birth to our Islands of Coherence network, where we wanted it not just to be where you were participating silently with the pulses, but that you could connect with one another. You could introduce yourself, share projects, and connect in small breakout groups. And really that was the birth of our Islands of Coherence social network, really a place where we can continue to deepen our practice. So each one of our Global Coherence Day pulses has birthed more and more opportunities for us to come together. In the spring equinox of 2021, we actually joined with partners all around the world during World Water Day and World Water Week. So we began to pulse the waters of the planet as well. And that equinox was 1 year anniversary from our first pulse on spring equinox 2020. So we've really been building the field over time and doing a lot in partnership. We joined Saturday Night Alive many times during 2020 and 2021 to bring this awareness of the power of our coherence pulsing on the planet. We recently partnered with World Unity Week and did 8 pulses over 8 days. And really, we've been building the field. You can feel it. Many of you were on those sessions. If you were on any of these sessions I'm describing, please let us know in the chat. And thank you so much for continuing to come. It really makes a difference. And so here we are today with our Global Coherence Pulse Day, a very, very special one. The synchronized meditation and community gathering, we decided this is hosted by the Global Coherence Pulse in the Islands of Coherence. And we decided that today was an important day to really feature HeartMath Institute and the Global Coherence Initiative, really the founders, I feel, of this science of the heart, and really helping us to have the tools and the resources, the understanding we need to effectively pulse the planet with our heart coherence. So we are excited to have Greg Braden with us, Claudia Wells, Roland McCravey, Howard Martin, Deborah Rosman. All of these are part of the steering committee of the Global Coherence Initiative and part of the core faculty. And of course, we have Minoz Nua with us today as our musical guest. So we're really excited about this. And it was a special day to bring on HeartMath and GCI also because they are launching today their Global Tree Monitoring Project, which is really exciting. We've been talking about for a while, and it's here, and you're going to hear more about that. And I really want to also thank our broadcast partners, Unify. We're out on Unified Facebook today, Awake TV, the Sign Network, and also our friends over at Earth Dance TV. So thank you so much for helping us to get the word out and share this important work with so many others. So this is a 90-minute session. We'll have some opening remarks with Greg and Claudia and Roland, and we'll launch that tree monitoring project in our first half hour. And then we'll move into our synchronized coherence meditation. We'll have some music, we'll have some reflections and announcements. And then if you'd like to stay on after the main event, we're going to have some optional breakout group time for community connection. So that's optional if you'd like it. So just to set a context, if we believe that small clusters of humanity living in heart-centered coherence can help shift the tide from a world fed by fear to a world fueled by love, then exploring, cultivating, experiencing, and embodying this capacity becomes a worthy pursuit. And that is what we're doing here today. That is what we do each month on our Global Coherence Pulses. That is what we are doing in our Islands of Coherence Network. And your presence today has an impact and makes a difference. Because together we are pulsing the field and generating a tsunami of love. Let's create a tsunami of love today as we move into our Global Coherence Day experience. So I'm super excited to be able to introduce our friend Greg Braden. Get my camera on. Get a little sticky today. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Greg so we can get started with our pulse today. Greg is a 5-time New York Times best-selling author, scientist, and pioneer in the emerging paradigm bridging science, social policy, and human potential. His research has led to 15 film credits, 22 award-winning books now published in over 40 languages, and he has a 2020 nominee of the prestigious Templeton Prize, created by Sir John Templeton to recognize living individuals who have harnessed the power of science to explore the deepest questions of the universe and humankind's place and purpose in it. He has presented his discoveries in over 34 countries on 6 continents and has been invited to speak to the United Nations, Fortune 500 companies, and the U.S. military. Greg is a member of scientific and visionary organizations, including the American Association for Advanced Science, the Laszlo Institute of New Paradigm Research, the Galileo Institute, the Institute of HeartMath Global Coherence Initiative, the Arling Institute, as well as other signatory of the 2017 Fuji Declaration, the international call to collectively catalyze a timely shift in the course of human history. And I would also just add a personal note on Greg. I feel like he's one of the most gracious men on the planet. I really, really so appreciate you being with us here today, Greg, to launch us off on our Global Coherence Day. Let's go to Greg.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa, for that warm welcome, for the beautiful introduction, and for the context, helping us all to understand what those islands of coherence are all about, and laying the foundation for precisely why this day is so very special. It's Global Coherence Day. So I'm going to begin with just that. I want to welcome everyone to Global Coherence Day. I just have to say it feels really, really good to be with you all today in our virtual community. I'm so honored to share this virtual stage with people who've just dedicated their lives, their energy, their effort, their intellect, and made the sacrifices in the lives they have to bring us to the understandings that we now have about the potential of global coherence, what it means in our lives, what it means in our world, what it can mean in our world, and where we can take this internal technology that tells us beyond any reasonable doubt, the science that tells us we're part of rather than separate from the world that we see, and that we have the ability to influence in a powerful, beautiful, positive way the way that this world unfolds. That's what today is all about. I want to come at this just from a little bit different perspective. I know if you're with us today, you're probably on board with the idea of global coherence. You're on board with the idea of heart-brain coherence. The techniques and the science have been pioneered through the Institute of HeartMath, but I'm still getting requests. I get emails and people stop me in the airports and at conferences say, how did this whole thing start? You know, where did the idea even come from that humans could possibly influence the magnetic fields of an entire planet? And it's a really good question, and it's the answer to that question that fires me up. It's the answer to this question that tells me beyond any reasonable doubt of the power that we have, the potential that we have to influence the outcome of the events in our lives and our world in a really good way. And I'm using that word intentionally, to influence, not to control, not to manipulate, but to influence the way that we work together to solve our problems, the way that we work together to cooperate. You know, when I was in school back in the 1950s, 1960s, early 1970s, studying, I was a child scientist, and then I became an adult scientist. And throughout that time, I was taught that our relationship to the planet we live on was minuscule, that we are so insignificant as beings, we could never really do anything to influence this planet. All that began to change in the 80s and the 90s when science began to tell us that, in fact, the magnetic fields of the Earth actually do have an effect on life in general and humans specifically, that the magnetic fields can influence our heart rate variability. They can influence our blood pressure. They can influence cycles of cooperation or cycles of aggression, and much, much more. This is a very radical way of thinking about our relationship to the Earth, that somehow the Earth could influence us. Our relationship to the magnetic field tells the story. Bottom line is this: when the magnetic fields of the Earth are stronger, we become more cooperative, less aggressive, more willing to work together to solve our problems. It's a beautiful thing. And just the reverse is true when the magnetic fields are weak. We are more aggressive when the magnetic fields are weak. Perhaps not surprisingly, it may not surprise you to know that we are, in fact, in a cycle of magnetic intensity on the planet that is 2020 was the bottom of that cycle, the weakest point of that cycle. It's directly linked to the sun and to the solar cycles that we're all very
Él está
familiar
diciendo
with.
que estamos entrando en
So
un
what that
ciclo
means is that we
débil
are
y que
now
por eso hay
living
tanta
in a time,
agresividad en
I
el
want to be very
momento
clear,
en el
we're
campo
not slaves to the
electromagnético.
magnetic cycle, but we are vulnerable, we are
Somos
susceptible
vulnerables a
to their
ese
influence, and
cambio.
when we understand that, we can transcend that. And it gives us the opportunity to communicate even more clearly and to solve our problems on a deeper level.
Y que podemos comunicarnos y trascender esa conexión incoherente con el
Is it
campo.
possible that we can create that focus intentionally from our hearts?
Y que podemos crear esa intención con el corazón, ya que el campo se conecta con todo.
Every corporation, every leader of every nation, there is no them and us when it comes to this field. There's only we, and we have the potential. We are wired to
Nosotros tenemos ese potencial de conectarnos a esa conciencia y levantar esa energía. Por ejemplo, la gratitud, trabajar la gratitud, apreciación. Y para eso es este proyecto de HeartMath. Y los sensores todavía están localizados en varias partes del planeta, donde se está midiendo la coherencia. Y así se puede medir la coherencia global en cada país, en cada región. Y los sensores que están en el GCI, y esto ha sido apoyado por todas las comunidades. Y se están produciendo más generadores para seguir midiendo el campo.
So I won't steal too much of his thunder, but it is the tree-based sensors, and this is where you have the opportunity to participate if you'd like to host.
Y aquí es donde estamos participando, y la petición es seguir midiendo el campo a través de todos los trabajos que estamos haciendo. Y se está enviando la información a través de los servidores de computadora, y es lo que Cuántico hace cuando hace las meditaciones y los cursos. Seguir explorando. Y es un estudio nuevo que se hace de cómo nosotros estamos influenciando al planeta a través de nuestras emociones. Y de una manera positiva en momentos en que lo estamos necesitando.
been with me at all in the last, this is the
Si
36
ustedes
year
han seguido
I've
este
offered
trabajo,
my work in one form or another. If you've been with
que
me
yo
at
también he
all,
nombrado a Greg
you know
Braden,
that I have recognized as a scientist, as a
él ha
geophysicist, I tend to
reconocido
look
como
at the big
geofísico
picture, big cycles of time.
los
We're
ciclos
living a rare
que
convergence
estamos
of
viviendo como
multiple
humanidad.
cycles that are
Esos ciclos
upending everything that we have held as constant in our lives. Climate
los hemos
cycles
llevado,
are involved in this. Economic cycles are
por
involved in
ejemplo,
this.
ciclos
Cycles of human
económicos,
conflict. They're all coming together
conflictos
right now. But if you don't
económicos.
know that, it can look like a really scary world. It looks like the world is just coming apart.
Es como que el planeta estuviera
Recognize the cycles.
rompiéndose, no,
Recognize
son
that they are
ciclos
very intense and they're brief. They don't drag on
y son
forever.
muy
It's during that
intensos.
intensity that the choices are made, the policies are
Las
enacted,
elecciones que
and the
hacemos, las
ways of building a
decisiones,
society are created that
crean una
determine our
sociedad.
lives from this point forward. We've got
Y es lo
this
que se está
precious window of
estudiando.
time to positively influence the outcome
De una
of
manera
this
positiva
convergence of
podemos estar
cycles.
influyendo como sociedad.
GCI is helping us to know when we are feeding the field in a healthy
La
way.
medición del
And that's
GCI
why
se
I
está
believe in this project. I
midiendo
support this
y
project.
Cuántico
I'm
lo
a steering
mide
committee for this
con los que han
project,
trabajado conmigo.
and I so appreciate you and all you're doing to support
Yo estoy
this
haciendo
project.
mis reportes al
Now, I wanna
Harmas
take this
Institute
to
de
the
mi
next level.
trabajo
I
de
mentioned
tribus,
citizen
donde se mide la
scientists.
coherencia de cada uno de los
I'm going to
participantes.
invite Claudia Wells to speak with us about citizen science. Before I do, I want you to know who she is, a little bit professionally and then also on a personal level. Claudia, we are so lucky to have her with us today. She is the board chairman of IONS, the Institute of Noetic Sciences. She's on the board of the Institute of Heart Mass Global Coherence Initiative. I'm not surprised by that. She's also the co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse and many other programs. Far too many to go into today. I'm going to invite you to check it out. See all of the places where Claudia is leading in ways that behind the scenes, you may not be seeing it, but if she weren't there, it's her organizational skills, her vision, her dedication, her perseverance to contributing to this planet and to this world and to the people of this world and our global family in a positive way. She is a contributing author to the 2020 Gold Nautilus award-winning book, Our Moment of Choice. And I'm really excited about that. I am also a contributing author to that project, and it's getting a lot of recognition. And Claudia, I'm so honored to be sharing the stage with you today. So Claudia, please, I'm so excited to welcome you to this virtual stage. I'm excited to hear what you're going to share about citizen scientists. And if I forgot to mention, Claudia is also a citizen scientist herself. So Claudia, I'm going to turn this wonderful audience over to you. It's all yours. Thank you for being with
Del
us today.
ciudadano,
Take
se
it
podía
away.
traducir. Vamos a ver a Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Greg. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And happy Global Coherence Day. Greg, it's so nice to have you back on the pulse. And thank you for always reminding us how the coherence within us becomes the coherence around us. And you were just sharing where you thought the idea that humans could influence the magnetic fields of an entire planet came from. And I'd like to share something about where citizen science came from, because I really believe it's going to require communities like ours to demonstrate the truth of that scientifically. So citizen science isn't exactly new, depending on your reference point, I guess. One of the first recorded uses was in 1989, when a couple of hundred volunteers in the US collected rain samples for the Audubon Society in an acid rain awareness-raising campaign. And those of us old enough to remember the first time we heard about acid rain might remember what a
Ella hizo
startling
un
shift in
estudio de la
awareness it
lluvia
was.
ácida y ahí es donde comenzó ese proyecto.
Life-giving rain, nature's most purified water,
La
was being made
lluvia,
acidic by atmospheric pollution,
que se supone que es
and
lo
was
más
actually causing
limpio,
harm to forests and lakes and human health.
es lo que estaba causando las
I remember how it
enfermedades.
changed the way I saw rain, the way I felt about catching rain on my tongue, and it confirmed my intuition about how we were treating our planet,
Y ahí se
allowing
dio
me to
cuenta
act from a new awareness.
del
So while citizen science isn't
ácido
exactly new, it's also not old.
que se estaba recibiendo a través de la lluvia.
Science has been largely off limits to non-experts since
Y
the
la
scientific
ciencia es que está
revolution, so
descubriendo
for
ahora
centuries.
todo lo que es
But
la
citizen
contaminación.
science is changing that by allowing public participation in scientific research.
Y ahora se
And why does
abrió
that
un campo
matter?
para que las personas
Well,
participen en estos
consider
estudios
a recent
científicos.
book on citizen science defines citizen science as scientists and citizen
y
communities
que la
working together
ciencia del ciudadano
to advance
se
science
acepte como una
by
ciencia,
encouraging democratic engagement in ways that allows
de manera que se
society
acepte en los
to
gobiernos
deal better
democráticos
with complex modern problems.
como un
And
problema
in the 21st
complejo.
century, we don't just have complex modern problems, we have what are sometimes referred to as super wicked problems, because they're both personal and systemic.
Se está estudiando
They're
los
both
problemas
local and global.
globales y
And because
locales y
there's no
personales,
central external authority capable of saving us from them.
y se está
if
pidiendo
there
entonces
ever
una
was.
ayuda más
And so here's the
centralizada.
opportunity and our challenge. Here may be why evolution is pushing us to this breaking
Y
point.
la evolución nos está
We're being
llevando a
pushed,
esto,
invited to finally realize our own central internal authority,
que nos
the
lleva
human
a
heart,
estudiar nuestro
our
propio
own
sistema interno de
inner
autoridad.
agency for resetting our lives
Hay
and
una
our collective
emergencia
reality simultaneously. And on the way, help to scientifically demonstrate the power of our own hearts
de sanación donde la ciencia lo está
that's holding
demostrando.
the current scientific paradigm based on fundamental separation
Hay una
in place.
separación de entender lo que es
More
la función
fundamental
del
to healing our
corazón
world than
con el
preventing
mundo y el
acid rain
planeta.
or any other single social or environmental crisis is holding ourselves.
y entender
what
las
heart
crisis
coherence
mundiales y
does.
personales que estamos viviendo en este
Acid
momento.
rain is, after all, only a symptom.
La lluvia
The cause
ácida
is
es
the
solamente
incoherence within
un
humanity that keeps us at
resultado, un
odds with nature,
síntoma
at odds with each other.
de lo
And
que
that
estamos
allows
viviendo
history to
nosotros
keep repeating itself.
entre nosotros mismos
So when I shared earlier that I
ciclos
remember
que
when
se
I
han
first
repetido.
recognized the harm caused by acid rain and the powerful shift of awareness that came with it, well, that was nothing compared to
El estado de
the
conciencia
shift in
que se
awareness that
activó con la
came
lluvia
with
ácida
realizing the harmony caused by the
hizo
coherence
un
of my own
llamado
heart.
a la armonía
Not
y a
just
la
within
coherencia,
myself, but within the world around me.
no solo en
And
mí,
that my coherence, realizing
no
that
solo en
my
mi mundo
coherence
alrededor, sino en mi
could
propia
add to the planet's
coherencia,
resilience while adding to my own. Don't we already
agregarlo
know
a mí
this in
mismo,
our
a mi
hearts
vida.
already? Still, for me, the science gave me the courage and the tools to believe it in
Tener
an
las
actionable way.
herramientas y el valor
And
para
there may be
seguir
others like
haciéndolo,
me. And it changed my awareness of
y le
myself
cambió
and of
su
humanity's
manera de
potential, and I
ver
still
las cosas a
describe
nivel de
that
conciencia.
change of awareness as life-saving.
Fue como
So
una
while the
salvación.
science isn't necessary for everyone, HeartMath's core practice for cultivating coherence is based on over 3 decades of scientific research.
El
And
estudio
this
del
same
HeartMath ya tiene
science
30 años
and
basado
practice
en
are at our
ciencia,
core.
en
And
la
with
base,
those at
en lo
our
más
core, the
profundo.
Pulse is a free and open citizen science initiative, a social collaboration backed by
Y
a
se está
scientific
llamando a la
collaboration
Global
to
Coherence
help
Pulse, a la
science tell a new story
pulsación
of our
de la
oneness
coherencia
with all life.
global.
But that's not the main reason we're doing it. We're actually doing this to create
Estamos
a critical
haciéndolo
mass of islands of coherence.
para
And we
crear
always talk about this.
islas de
Those
coherencia
islands of coherence that are capable of shifting the complex system
que sean capaces de
that is our
cambiar
world
todo
to
el
a higher
sistema
order.
para crear
The physical
orden.
chemist Ilya Prigogine demonstrated something similar in a lab, and we want to
Es como
demonstrate it on
demostrarlo
the
en un
street.
laboratorio a nivel químico.
I really appreciate the words of Roger Nelson here. Roger is the founder of the Global Consciousness Project and the person
Y
who
está dando las
analyzes
gracias a
the
Roger por crear
output of the random
el
number generator
proyecto
networks for our pulses.
y crear el
And who I
network.
hope is with us today, because he reminds us to respect the tentative place that this new science occupies right now
Y de darle el
on
lugar
the way to learning more about
y
how
puesto
all
a
of
este
this works.
proyecto para seguir
And
con los
meanwhile,
estudios
we get on with doing the right thing. We get on with doing the right thing,
y seguir haciendo lo
which in
correcto.
our case is feeding the field with coherent heart energy,
Es
love, compassion,
sembrar nuestra
gratitude,
coherencia en
appreciation,
esta isla
on the way to helping science
y
demonstrate
seguir
the world-changing
ayudando a
power
los
of the human heart.
científicos que sí se puede
So
lograr.
thanks so much to each of you from all of us
Y el
for bringing
agradecimiento.
your hearts, your coherence, or just your curiosity to this community.
Si están aquí por
And
curiosidad,
now
por
I'm going to ask
sanación.
Roland McCready to come on. Dr. Roland McCready is the director of
Y aquí
research
vamos
at
a
the
ver ahora a
HeartMath
Roland
Institute
McCready, que
and
es
the
el
Global
fundador
Coherence
de
Initiative and a
HeartMath
co-founder of the Global Coherence Pulse. He's a psychophysiologist who's been with HeartMath since the beginning in like 1991
Desde
and is a driving
1991.
force behind so much of this world-changing research. Roland, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Claudia. What a wonderful description of citizen science. I totally agree with you. It's so important if we're going to move the paradigm of science past its current, maybe siloed perspectives might be one way to kindly say it. Just to give a little clarity before I talk about my main topic today, which is actually pretty exciting because it's been a project that's been many years in the making, the tree project that I'm going to discuss. But there are really three kind of intersecting and overlapping, well, not really overlapping, but synergistic projects that we've been involved in. One, Greg has talked a lot about, which is the magnetometer sensor system that the first one was about 14 years ago, and we now have, in fact, it's the only time-synchronized global monitoring system that really looks at the resonant frequencies in the Earth's magnetic fields and specifically designed to do that. So we're able to really, a lot of publications in some pretty high-level scientific journals in the last couple of years have really been published out of that, showing not only how we are affected by the resonant frequencies and rhythms in the Earth's magnetic field, but how it's actually a mechanism that helps us get in sync with others and with the
Está
Earth
hablando de todos los
itself.
estudios y todos los
Really
papeles que se
surprising
han
results
hecho durante
come out
todos
of that.
estos años
So I'm really
sobre el
quite
campo
excited that
electromagnético.
science is now being published and becoming more public. The second thing is, Claudia also mentioned, the Global Consciousness Project, which was founded by Dr. Roger Nelson, probably been close to 22, 23 years ago, and at Princeton. And Roger's now retiring, and I'm really honored to say that he's asked the HeartMath Institute to become the new home base for that project. So we're taking that on and working collaboratively with Dr. Nelson and also Claudia and other folks from IONS, their scientific community, as well as other scientists from around the world, different universities and things, to really, in fact, we're engaged right now of doing some much more in-depth research on a research network we specifically designed to really ask new questions about that project. And this global network of random number devices that clearly has shown over the last 20 years to respond in a measurable way to events that evoke a lot of emotion from humans globally, that's somehow affecting these devices distributed globally. And most of us believe that this really is measuring the effect of our consciousness on the global field at a global level. So in the version 2 that we're calling it, we're really going to make this much more of a citizen scientist project as well. So we're in the process now of designing new devices that will make it very easy for anybody in the world to become involved and host one of these devices. Now that's going to be a while off, a few months. We're getting close to finalizing the design of that, but it's going to be a lot easier to get involved, and we think we'll have a much more sensitive system. Then the third arm, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now for this last part, is the global tree monitoring. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Just hopefully you're able to see that. Okay. So this, one of our hypotheses with the GCI, or the Global Coherence Initiative, is that we all live within the magnetic fields of the Earth and also of the Sun, and that those fields connect all living systems and that we communicate
El campo
information
conecta
via
con
those
todo.
fields. I won't go into a lot of the scientific
La
detail.
metáfora es un árbol.
Had many presentations in the past on the pulse and otherwhere on
El
that.
árbol está conectado a la tierra, a las ramas, al aire, al
Trees are an
sol.
awesome part of living systems. I
Y es
mean,
un
there's so much
sistema
really
viviente.
incredible research on trees that has come out in the last few years that I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, really showing, I think, it's really why nature thrives and plants and trees.
Por eso la importancia siempre de sembrar árboles, porque los árboles colaboran con su sistema a hacer una conexión completa entre los árboles, y ellos son colaboradores entre ellos. Ellos evolucionan y trabajan juntos. Todo lo que es el ecosistema. El estudio que se hizo de los árboles se lleva entonces a los humanos,
So what we're introducing now is this global network that will become
Entonces,
a global
los
network
árboles están
monitoring
creando
the
unos
electrical potential
networks,
of
unas
trees.
redes. Y la idea de este
So this is just
estudio
an
es,
example of what I mean. These are 2 trees here on our property in
aquí se
Central
está
California.
midiendo en
And so what we see here
dos
is
tipos de árboles,
redwood
el
and
oak
tree,
y el redwood.
monitored over a couple of months' time. And you can see that they have very
Y ellos
rich and
tienen
dynamic electrical
voltaje,
lives and potentials. They have circadian rhythms, a day-night rhythm. That's the
tienen
sine wave
ritmo,
making things that you
tienen
see here. So very little is really understood about these electrical potentials generated by trees.
potencial
And if you look
eléctrico.
at the scale, it's in millivolts here. That may
El,
not mean a lot to a lot of you, but that is huge. This is the similar voltage level.
el azul están viendo el oak y el rojo están viendo el redwood.
So trees are generating these same relatively high magnitude
Y es
signals.
increíble como al estudiar los árboles se está estudiando el magnetismo de la Tierra. La idea de esto es los sensores que están acá están midiendo la conexión de los árboles que están sembrados en todas las urbanizaciones. Y este sensor está conectado a las computadoras de Harvard. Entonces se hace en una comunidad este estudio y se va estudiando con una tecnología súper compleja. Estos sensores se colocan cerca de los árboles y ahí va, el sensor va midiendo y se va conectando a la computadora, al servidor. Luego, la intención es llevarlo a todos los árboles del planeta y con esa medida se recoge la data de una población, de una ciudad específicamente, una urbanización.
Not just trained scientists who have unique ways of looking at the data, understanding it, making connections that we may not even see, on the scientific side. So that's the basics of how the system works. Some of the key research questions we want to be asking from
Entonces el estudio es que si estas conexiones eléctricas de los árboles están realmente engatillando o recibiendo la descarga emocional de las personas. Al llevar este estudio de los árboles como si fueran Wi-Fi, se estudia si los árboles se comunican energéticamente, cada uno de ellos a largas distancias. Y si los árboles realmente se afectan con las emociones de los seres humanos. Y que si los árboles nos pueden informar, por ejemplo, de próximos terremotos.
And also devices made through the Earth's magnetic field or the resonant frequencies, but we'll actually have other living systems. And then, of course, we've also doing studies involved with people. So I hope this has given you a sense of.
Entonces, esto es el nuevo proyecto. No solamente se está estudiando a las emociones de las personas, sino ahora a los árboles. Y el network del potencial de los árboles.
Now, there's some great research that's already been done that suggests this is not a far out idea. Some work in Japan has actually shown that trees can respond up to 2 weeks.
Están estudiando esto, que hace 2 semanas anteriores ellos podían medir si había algún terremoto con los árboles.
Has actually shown how when rocks under pressure, like in an earthquake fault, they turn into batteries. I'm going to keep this simple. It's a very complex chemical model. And this is not piezoelectric effects for the scientists in the crowd, but sustained current generators. And trees are a great way to measure what's going on in the earth because of their root system. So
la maravilla de esta medida de los árboles es a través de sus raíces. Y también pueden medir a través de las raíces lo que está sucediendo en el planeta.
So that's kind of what this is really about. And so we're really just launching this to the public. As I said, it took us many years to develop this.
años de trabajo. Se está ofreciendo comprar los monitores para compañías, empresas. Nunca se había hecho. La intención es, por lo menos mía, de Cuántico, es comprar uno de estos sensores y colocarlos en lugares conflictivos, en el caso específico de Venezuela. Poder colocar esto en los árboles. No estamos anticipando problemas, sino simplemente estudiar el campo electromagnético y todo lo que está sucediendo en el planeta, y se descubrió que se puede medir a través de los árboles. Entonces los primeros sensores van a salir aquí en Estados Unidos y luego los van a ofrecer internacionalmente. Y empresas, personas particulares que realmente quieran participar. treerhythms.net. Yo después paso las páginas. De todas formas, esto empieza primero en Estados Unidos y después va a ser en el mundo.
But if you want to see the installation guide, you can just go to the website and look up for installation guide, but here's the direct link on the second link.
Las instalaciones, pues me imagino que se van a ocupar ellos.
And the types of, or the size of trees we want and these types of things. And if you do want to host a tree site, here's the form.
Obviamente el HeartMath es una fundación y todo es a través de donaciones y participantes de empresas y particulares.
Go one more level of discussion, and hopefully you'll be one of our first 50 sites. Now there is a cost for these. It's $600, and this is actually quite a bit below what it costs us to make these. So this is really being supported by.
Bueno, obviamente $600 es un precio para comprar el sensor e instalarlo, o sea, todo lo que es el monitor y el lugar de estudio.
So it's really great to be finally at the point we can release these.
Y se siente muy orgulloso de este trabajo que tiene muchos años y finalmente se pueda lanzar.
Please get involved, and if you're also wanting to be involved in the global consciousness, the new generation of those devices, that'll be later this year, hopefully. You can also let us know about that, and we'll put you on a list for those as well. So with that said, I would like to now introduce Howard Martin and Deborah.
Ahora viene Howard Martin, con quien yo estuve en Hawái en el año 2007 haciendo el primer estudio de HeartMath en el Global Coherence.
Right from the beginning, when we first founded the initiative. They're very good friends and supporters of the project. Both Debbie and Howard are with HeartMath Inc., who builds the sensors and the devices and does a great amount of work in hospitals, corporations, and
se está haciendo este estudio en
programs and things for the world,
hospitales y lugares donde se pueda medir la coherencia a nivel público.
So to really get us in the right mood for the meditation.
Thank you, Roland, and congratulations. It's a big milestone.
Pusieron una música ahora para empezar a trabajar ahora la coherencia, luego va a venir la meditación, luego va a venir otros presentadores. Espectacular el estudio sobre los árboles, y Cuántico ha venido trabajando con los árboles, y gracias a ustedes que han participado en nuestros talleres y nuestras meditaciones y la conexión de la importancia del árbol en la tierra. Hoy día de la Pachamama, hoy día de la tierra, Yo creo que hoy es un momento para pedir todos qué deseamos realmente para nuestra tierra. Pangea, Pachamama, Madre Tierra. La idea es que pongamos una intención de lo que esté molestándonos, lo que esté incoherente en nosotros, para poder transformarlo en un estado de coherencia, en un estado de paz. Aprender sobre la coherencia del corazón. Tienen en mi canal de YouTube la Meditación 1111 del Heart Coherence, de la activación Timohara del corazón, para evitar que las emociones causen daño en nuestras células, en nuestro cuerpo físico, en nuestro cuerpo mental, emocional, espiritual, y que nos hagamos responsables de eso que estamos creando a través de esas emociones. Vamos a esperar que venga la próxima presentación.
Hello, everyone. Now we're getting in our hearts in the mood to shift to a heart meditation. I want to welcome you all to this whole Coherence Pulse. I'm Deborah Rosman, and I'm so honored to have been involved with the Global Coherence Initiatives since we launched it many years ago. And what I want to talk about before we actually start our heart care focus, as we call it, and Global Coherence Initiative every month puts out a full moon synchronized care focus, and you can become part of that to put the heart energy of heart coherence and be a coherence emissary and build that throughout the planet. I'm going to talk about the shift energies. And again, that's sort of a global term for energies coming into the planetary field from the universe, as well as what Greg talked about, Roland talked about, Claudia talked about. There's just a lot of changing energies, and they're affecting us. They're affecting our emotions mostly. They're amplifying our heart coherence. So the opportunity for us to come together in heart coherence and pulse the planet, those energies can be amplified to increase our coherent impact. And at the same time, as we see in the news, they're amplifying our separations.
La amplificación ahorita del campo es polarización, separación, división.
Because it has to, in order to move to the next level. To be healed by the heart.
Y tiene que pasar para que la incoherencia salga del corazón y se sane. Por eso es necesario liberar las emociones que están atrapadas en nuestros corazones para luego transformarlas en coherencia. El efecto de la pandemia que se ha medido es una oportunidad para conectarnos desde el corazón, para crear inclusividad dentro del trabajo y cooperación. Porque nosotros necesitamos crecer como individuos y tenemos que liberar esa separación. Entender que podemos respetarnos, amarnos y aceptar las diversidades. Y ese es nuestro desafío. Y después de tanto estudio y tanto research, tenemos que tomar la decisión de integrarlo y que sí es posible crear este cambio primero a nivel personal y luego crear coherencia allá afuera, hacer el cambio más compasivos.
So I want to share something HeartMath founder Doc Childress said. And it's in this current care focus, if you have seen it. And if not, I think it's worth underlining. That we've tried everything else
Y que hemos probado todo, según Doc Childress, su creador.
Guidance and care. And more people realizing this is the missing piece in our interactions and our quest for personal, social, and global solutions.
Hay una parte que está faltando de la conexión en la parte social a través de la separación.
And it starts with asking our heart.
Y es preguntarle al corazón, dejar los juicios hacia los otros y ser consciente de qué es lo que me está diciendo el corazón. Tenemos unos filtros a nivel subconsciente y tenemos una pulsación del corazón que no estamos utilizando, que es aceptación, compasión, perdón, el no juicio. Y eso hace que si no lo utilizamos se generen bloques y afecta a nuestra salud, nuestra familia y evita que abramos el corazón desde la vista del otro. Y mientras más lo cerramos, más se convierte en problemática a nivel mundial. Y hay una influencia en eso que genera estrés, confusión, y cambiar todo eso para encontrar la solución a través de este estudio del corazón y crear una conexión del corazón, la mente y la emoción y de una intención colectiva y crear una conexión con la pulsación del planeta.
So I want to introduce Howard Martin to share the heart meditation and the theme, which is releasing separation.
Para liberar entonces la separación, viene ahorita Ron, viene aquí en Harmar. Rolling, no.
Thanks so much, Deborah.
Okay.
So much appreciate
Howard,
everybody's
Martin.
contribution so far to this amazing event. Love everything and said. And I'm honored to be a part of Global Coherence Day here with each and every one of you. It's also been really fun as we've been going through this time together and seeing that there are literally people from all around the world who have joined this event. And that puts us in a place right now with an opportunity to use our collective heart.
Está hablando de que hay muchas personas conectadas en este momento y que estamos utilizando este momento para trabajar la energía global.
That the discussions we've had today with Greg and Roland and Deborah and Claudia and all indicate work is happening. And how do we bring that now deeper into the street, deeper into the hearts of
Cómo
people?
llevar todo este trabajo que ellos han hecho ahora a un nivel colectivo.
A meditation. It'll take about 15 or 20 minutes. Along the way, there will be times where there'll be nothing but silence. And that will allow us to make a deeper connection with our hearts and increase our radiational power. This is a time right now in our program
Se
today,
hizo el
in our
programa de
time
la
together, to
meditación
use it
para
as a
medir el
service to
resultado
humanity.
en la
We'll benefit
humanidad.
from it ourselves, but let's use this as a time to push forward into the world in a way that can help where it's most needed.
Y que en este momento es
So
tan
again,
necesario
what
hacer
I
esta
would like to
sanación a
invite
nivel
you to do
mundial.
is to get comfortable, of course. Close your eyes.
Vamos a hacer una meditación, cerrar
And I'd
los
like you
ojos.
to center yourself in the heart,
Céntrate en el
in
corazón,
the center of your chest.
en tu pecho.
And then as you center there, I'd like you to breathe the feeling of appreciation in and out
Ahora
through the area
respira
of your heart.
la
This will
sensación de
help to warm your heart
apreciación
and increase your focus. And we'll do that for a few minutes
Enfócate
together
en
right now.
apreciación en este momento, respirando por la nariz, inhalando en 3 y exhalando en 3 por la nariz. Inhala, apreciación. Inhala, apreciación. Siente en el pecho una presión, yo la siento.
Now let's take it to the next level.
Ahora vamos al segundo nivel.
I'd like you to connect with your heart's intention
Conecta una intención en el
to
corazón
create more feelings of acceptance,
de
compassion,
aceptación, paz,
in all of your interactions with others,
pasión
and of course within yourself.
con ti mismo y con lo que quieres.
As you do this over time, it can progressively increase the emotional stability and we all need during these times, and it can also prevent some of the relating that happens in our life. So right now, just connect with your heart's intention to create
Y ahora pon
more
una
feelings of
intención
acceptance,
en tu corazón de
compassion, and
aceptación,
care in your interactions with others
pasión
and within yourself.
y acompañamiento. Intención en el corazón de lo que quieres. Y lo coloques en el pecho, tu intención, mientras vas respirando. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Cuál es tu intención? Respira por la nariz, pon tu intención en el corazón, en el pecho.
Just gently stay with the connection to your heart,
Conéctate al corazón.
manifesting that intention to create more feelings of acceptance,
Siente
compassion, and care.
aceptación, pasión, compasión. ¿Qué más sientes? Cariño, amor. ¿Cuál es a esa intención? ¿Qué es lo que quieres? ¿Cuál es la intención? Respira, inhala por la nariz. Exhala por la nariz. Yo siento en el pecho la presión. ¿Qué sientes tú? Sigue respirando por la nariz, poniendo tu intención al corazón. Ellos están monitoreando este ejercicio. ¿Qué sientes en el pecho?
Now let's visualize our collective heart energy being created by all of us all around the world, helping to stabilize the chaotic emotional energies that feed the separations and biases within individuals and leaders, and block the effective solutions that are really what's needed for the best for the whole. So let's use this collective heart power wow to help stabilize this chaotic emotional energy that feeds separation.
Ahora conéctate con la intención de que esta respiración, con cada onda que estás enviando, está sanando al planeta y está disolviendo y transformando en la impronta de separación, de discordancia, de violencia, de caos en el mundo. Y todos juntos, en este momento, en este instante, estamos creando en el campo cuántico, en el campo electromagnético con nuestra onda, estamos poniendo esa intención al planeta, sanando el campo y poniendo orden, coherencia, apreciación, compasión, amor, de lo que queremos ver resultado, incluyendo la salud, la sanación. Pon la intención de lo que quieres. Respira y con cada pulsación cardíaca y respiración estás enviando esa onda de tu intención. Apreciación, amor, compasión, salud, unión, apoyo, libertad, comunidad, tribus, acompañamiento, entendimiento, comprensión. Pon la intención. Siente. Sigue respirando, poniendo la intención en lo que quieres. Aprovechando que hoy es el día de la Pachamama, ¿cuál es tu intención y tu participación en el campo cuántico, en el campo electromagnético de coherencia? ¿Cuál es tu aporte? Estamos generando un tsunami de amor. Eso es el mensaje de la onda cuántica que se está creando en este momento a todos los que estamos conectados en vivo. Siente cómo se va transformando la energía en tu pecho. ¿La sientes?
Now, I'd like us all to envision enough people opening their hearts and setting aside their differences to create a more heart-based world. And just know that as more hearts open, there's a natural inner prompting to create ways to get along with each other, to cooperate and to co-create solutions that benefit us all, because that's who we truly are. So just envision enough people opening their hearts, setting aside the differences, and creating a more heart-based world.
Coloca frente a ti a una persona que tenga una intención de sanar la relación con esa persona o con varias personas y visualiza a las personas resolviendo sus conflictos, transformando esa incoherencia en coherencia, esa desunión y separación en unión, en entendimiento. Y si tienes a alguien con el que debas sanar esta relación, aprovecha este momento para colocarlo frente a ti y hacer conexión corazón, cerebro, heart-mind connection. Y que eso es realmente lo que somos conexión desde el corazón, sin egos. El corazón sana, el corazón sabe. Es la mente la que crea la confusión, la separación. Coloca frente a ti esa persona o personas. Y desde tu corazón, conéctate al corazón de esa persona poniendo la intención de la solución que quieres ver. Unión, conversación, aclaratoria, disculpa, perdón o cualquier programa de incoherencia que los haya separado. Y ahora visualiza a todas las personas sanando, a los países, a los gobiernos. De persona a persona. Sigue respirando por la nariz, sigue creando esta intención. Suelta la mente, conéctate al corazón y siente. Estamos creando en este momento la coherencia de la pulsación. Estamos monitoreando con los sensores lo que está ocurriendo en este momento. Respira. Sigue respirando. Siente el pecho como se va liberando. Yo lo siento en este momento.
With it, stay with the gentle radiation from your heart.
Siente la radiación del corazón que va saliendo.
Envisioning enough people opening their hearts to create a more heart-based world.
Viendo a las personas conectándose de corazón a corazón. Creando la base de la coherencia. Sigue respirando. Pon la intención. Sigue respirando. Siente y suelta la mente y conéctate. En este momento aprovecha que estás aquí conectado y siente. ¿Qué va pasando en tu corazón mientras vas transformando y creando esa intención?
Now, as we feel this connection and collective heart opening that we have right now,
Ahora siente que se abrió
let's close by radiating our compassion and our care
este canal
to all who are suffering hardships
y ahora
during these
enviando,
present global challenges.
que estamos todos conectados, se está enviando a esta sanación, a esta conexión global. ¿Siente algún cambio en el cuerpo? ¿Siente algo se transformó? Estamos monitoreando el cambio de conciencia del corazón. Visualiza tu toroide, las ondas saliendo del corazón, de luz teal. Y aprovechando el día de hoy para conectar con todas las personas, animales, plantas, planeta entero, elementos, y volver a conectar a la coherencia. El planeta necesita reactivar su coherencia. Es una petición, es un estudio científico. Somos nosotros los que estamos haciendo este cambio. Ahora vamos a hacerlo para bien. Sigue respirando, sigue poniendo tu intención. Siente en el pecho, siente lo que va saliendo. Nuestras propias incoherencias transformándose en coherencia. Nuestras propias emociones atrapadas, liberándose y transformándose en amor y en coherencia, en apreciación. Y ahora da las gracias, siente la gratitud por este regalo que estás recibiendo. Siente, deja la salida del ego, que son nuestras creencias, nuestra personalidad, y deja que tome las riendas del corazón. El espíritu habla a través del corazón. Sigue tu intención. Sigue respirando.
Thank you so much, Howard. Let's stay in this beautiful space of pulsing the field with our heart coherence,
A
our
través de la
tsunami of love.
pulsación.
As we have Manos come and play some music for us to continue to open our heart and pulse the field. Manos, love to have you come on.
Se está creando el tsunami del amor, enviando esta onda electromagnética a todo el planeta. Ahora vamos a escuchar una música que nos va a seguir conectando. Escriban qué sintieron, qué sienten. ¿Qué transformaste? ¿Qué emoción transformaste? Cierra los ojos y siente. Él está desde Hawái cantándonos.
Sometimes soft, sometimes strong. This is how we sing our song. Sometimes soft, sometimes strong. This is how we sing our song. Time is but a dream. We were built upon the stream.
Wow, qué paz, qué bello.
We pass our days and falls upon the wing. Together, Gratitude.
Gratitud.
Gratitude.
apreciación,
compassion,
amor, compasión
to your parents, to your kids, to animals,
a los animales, a los seres humanos, a Gaia, a la Pachamama, a Pangea, a Ashe,
soft, sometimes strong. This is how we sing our song.
Ashe, Ashe, Wado. Gracias plena, gracias gratitud.
Bless you, Brother Manoz.
Manás desde Hawái.
Love you so much. Manoz will play one more time for us before we close up today. Thank you for joining us. So beautiful. I'd like to ask all of our speakers to turn on cameras. I'll go to gallery view. And I also brought a little surprise on. I saw Roger Nelson was with us. So I thought we would bring him on. Hi, Roger. Why don't you unmute your mic? I know you were with us on one of the last pulses during World Unity Week and had a beautiful experience, and it's nice to see you here. I'd love to share something with us.
I love getting here. This is because here we are. It's absolutely heartwarming and a teaching for me. There was a message. Was that important?
No, go ahead.
So I love being reminded and assisted in opening my heart. And so I'm a self-taught sort of meditator, and I'm thinking there are so many wonderful ways to do this. So
Roger Nelson fue el creador de
ways
Harmas
to
hace unos
come
30
closer
años,
to our
bastante.
potential.
Luego le pidió a Rolling
To think
McCaffrey,
about it is to
a Howard Martin
make
y a
it
Doc Children, no
be.
está hoy,
May take a while, but to envision a
hacer
future
estos estudios.
with love coming out more often and more completely, more freely. That'll happen. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
Thank you, buddy.
We love you, Roger. We appreciate so much
Great
all that
surprise.
you've done. We do. It's lovely to have you. I want to open up the mic for anyone, Deborah or Roland. I asked people if they would share in the chat what they were feeling in their heart as we came out of that meditation. Such beautiful sharing, some sadness as well as joy, very tender. I'm feeling all of those things myself. And Deborah, how about you? Just want to bring your voice in.
Thank you. I just have a tremendous amount of compassion and joy together, understanding what all of us are experiencing right now. One day our moods can be up and the next day they can be challenged. And knowing that we're all in this together, that's part of the acceleration and the growth. And
Ella es Deborah
co-creation, and just
Rossman,
keep going back to the
que es
heart.
una de las
We have a
head
term at Heart Math, we remind each
Heart
other,
Math.
straight line back to the heart. And we keep practicing that and then putting the heart out, and that helps lift our vibration and each other. And again, right back to compassionate latitude for what everyone in this world is going through, because it's an incredible opportunity with the heart. And thank you for inviting me to be part of this.
Beautiful. Howard, that was a lovely meditation. Love the long stretches of silence. It's so important that we have an opportunity to do that. Thank you for offering your love, and I wondered if you had a few words you wanted to share.
Yeah, I would. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. This whole event has been wonderful. And, I think that if you think about the theme of that meditation, really the essence of it was learning to get along, reducing the separations and the judgments and the biases that often are so part of life right now. And it might seem idealistic, but my belief is we can learn to get along and have these same feelings in our daily interactions, so that we can make this a part of
La
life
idea
for the
es
world
que se
as
creó
time goes on.
un campo de
That a meditation like
intencionalidad
it facilitates that greatly, because no
para
love is ever wasted. It all counts
evitar
and
que
it
se
all
siguiera
contributes and it
expandiendo
all
la
creates that
separación y la
connection.
división.
And so I encourage every one of us that's been a part of this call to take that feeling we have right
Y
now
la medición que
of
ellos hicieron
connection,
en
of
esta
less
meditación
separation, and move that forward
es,
into our day, carry that forward into life.
como el campo
With the
está
hope and
tan
the
débil,
heart-based intention that the
la
world
intención
begins
que
to
se estaba
operate
creando
that
era
way.
la
Because the key to the
separación
next level of unfoldment and to finding the solutions to the many challenges that we
de
seem to
todos los
all
desafíos que
face
estamos
lies
viviendo como
really in
humanidad.
learning to get along better.
Todos ellos que están en
Learning to see
pantalla,
each other heart to heart,
científicos,
through the eyes of
incluyendo
the
a
heart. And as we
Manoj
do that more,
Newa, que
life
trabaja
will
la
change.
sanación
And
a
that's
través de
my
la
wish for
música.
everybody, and I really appreciate you having me and for
Rolly
being with everyone
McCaitry,
else today
que
to
toda su
lead a
base
meditation.
científica,
Thank you,
Debra
Helen.
y
Beautiful. And Roland, congratulations on the launch of the tree monitoring
el
project. Boy, we've been
proyecto
waiting
del
for that
árbol,
for a
de
while.
verdad
And
que es
trees have
alucinante.
been my greatest teacher.
La
And
creación
I
de
have a
Rolling
feeling they're really
McCaitry es
going to teach us a lot
espectacular. Para
about
mí es
our
un genio
impact, around their impact. It's going to be really exciting.
y va a ser un trabajo
Thank you,
maravilloso. Y para
I love
nosotras
trees too. I've
que
seen
hemos
that
trabajado
and
los
so forth,
árboles,
and
sabemos
as
la
are you. I know,
importancia del
Teresa,
árbol,
live in the
sus
redwoods,
raíces.
the forest of
El trabajo de Claudia
big daddies
también es
of the biofields
bellísimo
of
con el
nature.
tema de la pulsación
I
del
can certainly
planeta.
feel them,
El
when I
trabajo de
walk out
Howard
my home in the morning
Martin
into the forest.
And
I would
de
just,
la
I'm
colección
getting closing comments here, echo kind of what
Mente, Cerebro,
Jordan
Corazón
said
del
by,
Global Coherence que
Debbie
hemos hecho
Howard.
desde el
And
2007 ha sido
really perceive
espectacular.
everything with love. Is if we can really do that, that's easier said than done. But if that is what really raises us above, out of our judgments or biases, many of which are unconscious, in the patterns and old habits we've fallen into.
La intención es eliminar y liberar los patrones viejos que nos han hecho crear esta separación y que tenemos que llenar el campo es de una intención de apreciación y coherencia y amor y que esa conexión está. No hay ningún amor que haya sido
so beautiful. And you can feel we've been pulsing now since spring of 2020. So we really have been doing
se ha
this over a
medido
period of
esta
time.
pulsación
You can
desde
feel that the community that's been
el año
joining with
pasado,
us
en
has really
abril
been dropping
de
deeper and
2020.
deeper, and you can feel it in the field in a powerful way. And
Y se ha medido la coherencia desde el año
I
pasado.
always love your encouragement about us being citizen scientists. We really are, and we really get to tell this new story about the power
Esta intención
of the human heart, and
de
that we
ser
really can
citizen
make a difference. And you're always
scientists,
such
científicos de los
representation.
ciudadanos, es un trabajo de investigación a través de las comunidades.
Bringing us all together and creating such a wonderful program for all these many months. I just want to key in on that phrase too. No love is ever wasted, because it really speaks to what we're about. It's so clear.
El amor nunca es gastado.
That giving love out, even when we don't see it reflected back, is what's going to make the
Aunque
change.
no veamos el amor de regreso cuando lo enviamos.
Well, if you love and you don't get love back, if the world isn't giving you a reason to love, or the world isn't giving you a reason to be grateful,
te dice que nunca dejes de amar, aunque no seas retribuido. Porque ese amor nunca es desgastado o es gastado.
By choice.
Y es por
We don't
elección.
need to wait for the world to give us a reason.
No
And then when we do
necesitas
embody those emotions by choice, because it's all
un
one,
resultado de
and because
retorno, es tu
we're always
elección.
speaking with the universe, then our reality starts to shift.
Y cuando te
I
conectas
also
con el
just want to
universo,
say
tu
that
realidad empieza a
the
cambiar.
comments on the chat have been so wonderful today. They always are. But my favorite one today is from Zoom user who said, "I don't speak English, but I'm with you." And that was just so perfect, because obviously language isn't the most important thing that or way that we're communicating today. It's
Exacto.
Silent
Alguien
language of the
escribió
heart.
que no hablaba inglés, sin
Thank
embargo
you.
estaba
Thank you all
conectado
for
con
being
ellos.
here, my GCI crew.
El lenguaje del corazón no habla un
I'm
idioma,
going to go ahead and share a
sino el
video.
idioma del
It's a
amor.
brand new video from Global Coherence Initiative, and it tells a little bit
El
about
cantante
this
se llama
road to
Manoj
coherence
Newa.
that the Global Coherence Initiative has been on. And I'm going to follow that with some announcements. I'm going to put some links in the chat, so please stay on. And if you're interested in connecting with other people who have been on the call today, there'll be a link to join an optional Zoom meeting line so that you can have a little time in breakouts. So let's go ahead and play that video. I'll put some links in the chat, and please stay with us just a little longer, and we'll also hear from Manoj one more time before we go.
At the Heart Math Institute, our mission is to help awaken the heart of humanity and to empower people of all ages and backgrounds to connect more deeply with the intuitive guidance of their own hearts. People are increasingly realizing the important role intuition plays in becoming who they truly are. Founded in 1991 by Doc Childry, we have developed a system of scientifically validated techniques based on our study of heart rate variability and heart-brain interactions. A key discovery from this research is heart coherence, an optimal state in which the heart, mind, and emotions are cooperating together in harmony rather than in competition and discord. Through the practice of coherence-building techniques, people are able to create and sustain their life with significantly less stress, clearer choices, and more resilience, resulting in increased authentic connection with others. Research conducted at the Heart Math Institute is proving the credibility of heart coherence for facilitating sustainable change on a personal, social, and global level. With over 400 peer-reviewed or independent studies and over 11,000 citations in Google Scholar, Heart and Math Institute has made significant contributions to the scientific community's understanding of stress and emotions. Key areas of study include increasing resilience, activating intuitive connection, and revealing the benefits of global interconnectivity. Our interconnectivity research, featuring live scientific data streams, is umbrellaed under our Global Coherence Initiative. This is an international effort that seeks to facilitate the shift
Luego
in
les
global
paso
consciousness
la
from
información de Manoj
instability and
Newa.
discord to compassionate care, cooperation, and increasing peace. The Global Coherence app, monitoring system, global consciousness, and tree research projects allow worldwide participation.
Qué belleza
while
de lo de los
informing
árboles.
our research.
Estoy enamorada.
Another core facet of our mission is empowering children, teens, and college students to build more heart-centered lives with a natural flow of compassion, self-security, and resilience. Our e-learning programs aim to motivate and engage students in learning as they gain practical, social, and emotional self-regulation skills. Through heart rhythm feedback, Heart Math Coherence technology products provide a clear window into our emotional states. People worldwide are learning to take charge of how they feel, think, and act, reducing the negative effects of stress and gaining deeper states of calm, resilience, and emotional balance. We also offer certification programs for those with a desire to teach or mentor others in
Sí, vamos a
learning
hacer
and
lo de los
applying the
árboles.
Heart Math skill set. Courses
Ya que yo
include
estoy en el
creating
programa de
more
los
effective
trees,
team
así que ya
performance,
viene.
building resilience,
Vamos a
and
hacer algo con los
increasing
árboles.
emotional health and stability. We've also created an effective trauma course that is gaining significant attention due to the stress
Todo lo
of
que
these
ustedes vieron
changing
aquí ya lo hemos
times. As a
trabajado.
501c3
Así que
nonprofit
siéntanse
organization, the generosity of our
felices y
donors
orgullosos
helps us
de
maintain
ser parte de
and
este
grow our
proyecto.
special charitable outreach projects, serving and supporting those who need it most. Heart Math Institute members offer invaluable support in furthering HMI's mission. They also receive access to an array of meaningful and informative resources to help them advance to their next level of spiritual awareness. We also offer numerous free resources on our website for the benefit of all who visit. We're at the dawn of recognizing love as the new transformational intelligence. This is the heartbeat of our research, training programs, initiatives, tools, and technologies to help awaken and activate humanity's capacity to love. We are the HeartMath Institute. Thanks for taking the time to learn more.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. There's a number of new videos on the HeartMath Institute page. I put a link there to their video gallery, some wonderful ones, some tools for broadcasting love, some others, so some important opportunities to learn more and really appreciate the tools that HeartMath Institute and the Global Coherence Initiative are providing. So I'm going to share my screen just quickly and do a few announcements of some things that are coming up that you might want to know. And then we'll hear from our friend Manoj as a final offering. So one of the things, this is the page that I put a link to for the other videos that HeartMath has available in their pretty extensive video gallery. So please check it out if you're wanting to share this with friends or get them involved at all in the work that we're doing. Roland is going to be doing another series on Awake TV Network. There's actually quite a few shows that are already available from last year. He's going to be doing a new series, and that's coming up soon. So there's a link there to the Awake TV Network. If you're on the HeartMath email list or on the Global Coherence Pulse email list, you'll also get some notification of that coming up. Really excited about that, Roland. And of course, the Global Coherence app, if you want to download that, you can get that in the App Store or in the Google Play Store. And pretty soon there'll be some new advances in the app. And it's a nice one when we come on these calls that we see you on the map. Today, the app was down, I think, but it's really awesome for us to be able to do that and start to track our levels of coherence together. We are going to do something special for those of you that are using the app and have the sensor. We are going to have a special session on Thursday, September 2nd at 11 a.m. Pacific. And we're going to talk about using the app and sensor. And following that event, we'll record it. So if you can't come live, we'll make that available. And then we're going to follow those with some practice sessions where we can come together, those of us that are using the app and sensors, so that we can begin to learn how to use them more effectively, and we can start to see the coherence levels that we have as we do those together. So look forward to seeing those of you who want to do that. And if you haven't gotten a sensor yet and you're feeling like, gosh, I really want to do that, this is a wonderful time to do it because HeartMath Institute is offering 25% off on all of their technology products and books and games. And so if you go to the link that I put in there for the store, you'll see that there's a summer sale, and that's going to last until August 16th. So if this is the time where you're thinking, you know, I really want to try that sensor, I really want to begin to tune into my own coherence levels more fully, and you'd like to join in this community who's using the app and sensor, this is a great time. Our next Global Coherence Pulse, we have it the third Saturday of every month. And this is also a month where we will be co-hosting the Saturday Night Alive event as well. So that's in a few Saturdays from now. And the theme for that
El próximo evento, el 21 de
the
agosto.
new story and the new song. We'll have Greg Braden back with us again, Jude Curvin, number of others. Exciting day for us to be celebrating and practicing and cultivating coherence together. And then the Islands of Coherence Network. This is a place where, you know, we have access to the monthly pulses. We have weekly meditation and breakout groups. There's coherence related resources there, topics that you can engage in, and a community of practice. So we encourage you, if you want to stay connected in between these events, to join the Islands of Coherence. There's a place for you to have a profile. You can connect with other organizations that are doing good works in the world, all in one dashboard, a wonderful opportunity for us to grow a purposeful learning community together. And we begin together to add the resources on, you know, healing trauma and having vibrant health and resources. Not only do our guests have wonderful information, but we have great information to share with each other. And this is a place that we can do that. And a personal vision for me is I love doing these virtual events, but I am really hoping and planning that in the summer of 2022 that we actually come together again for for an in-person retreat and also a virtual simulcast. So hold that with me that we're going to be able to actually hug in person. And then again, as I said, if you'd like to stay on afterwards, there's a link there for a Zoom, and we'll have about a half an hour in some breakout groups. So that is our announcements for today, and I would love to bring Manoj Nua back on for a moment.
Manoj se va a despedir de
Manoj,
nosotros
my
entonces
friend.
con una canción.
First, see if there's anything you'd like to share. I know you just came off of one of your own community gatherings that happens every Sunday. So nice that you were able to join us for both. And love you and so appreciate all you're doing on the planet to bring more love and care and peace and
Mahalo.
calm with your music and with your
Manoj.
presence.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for the invitation, Claudia, Roland, everybody here. It's so nice to be with
No,
you
estamos
all
en Heart Math
from the
Institute.
heart, and I would love to share this new song with you, and it talks about heart. Can you hear my keyboard?
Yes.
Okay. I lay the flowers at your golden feet. Lit the candles along your holy streets. Climbed the mountain to your golden peaks. Drank the waters from your descending creeks. And now here with it. Speak your heart. Speak your heart. Speak your heart. I sit by your rivers. They've never stopped singing your songs. Naked and untouched, like all the side of moon. Love that never, ever fades away. Like 10,000 color shades. I close my eyes, feeling your embrace. I walk in your land, kissed by the grace, and I here with it. Speak. Speak your heart. Speak your heart.
Speak your heart. Habla tu corazón. Habla desde tu corazón.
Speak your
Ese es el mensaje.
Speak your heart.
Ok, Qué bello. Gracias a todos por conectarse hoy conmigo en este día de la Pachamama, creando este tsunami de amor y esta medición que se hizo hoy desde el Heart Math Institute en vivo.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, everyone. Remember, it's Global Coherence Day, so let's continue to pulse the field.
Hoy es el día de la coherencia
all
global,
day.
haciéndole honor a Pachamama.
Thank you so much. See you on the breakout if you'd like to join us.
Gracias, gracias a todos. Wow. Bueno, mis amadas y amados que se conectaron, gracias. Gracias a esta conexión divina hoy que hicimos. Ay, qué emoción. Bueno, gracias infinitas a todos los que estuvieron en vivo. Voy a grabar ya esta meditación. Díganme cómo se sintieron. ¿Qué experimentaron? Ya va, que me estoy despidiendo de ellos aquí. De cambio, ¿qué sintieron? Yo sentí en mi pecho una fuerza y una liberación importante del estrés de lo que está ocurriendo en el planeta. Ya va, que tengo aquí el monitor, ok. Y esto lo estaremos haciendo cada vez que ellos me pidan la conexión, y por eso quise hacerlos en un live para los que nos estaban siguiendo mucho en la parte del inglés. La importancia que significa esto desde el trabajo desde el 2007 que yo vengo trabajando con el Heart Math Institute. Y bueno, un regalito para ustedes hoy, domingo, día de la Pachamama. Así que lo que hayan trabajado hoy, las peticiones que se hicieron fue primero inhalar el estado de apreciación cuando tengamos un evento importante que sanar. Y luego nos pidieron una intención de una persona o situación conflictiva o de estado de incoherencia para que hiciéramos la conexión con esa persona. Y luego eso irradiarlo al planeta, a los elementos, a las plantas. El trabajo de los árboles es del más allá, y ya cuántico se va a conectar a hacer la medición del campo electromagnético de los árboles. Ustedes que han estado conmigo trabajando el tema de los árboles saben la importancia de esto. Siento taquicardia todavía, de dejar un poco la mente y conectarnos al corazón. Así que gracias, feliz domingo, hoy día de la Pachamama. Gracias por acompañarme y bueno, seguiremos haciéndolo. ¿Ok? Así que un besote y me despido por acá. Nos vemos, nos seguimos viendo. Gracias por acompañar a Cuántico y que descanse, que tengan un día, por supuesto, maravilloso. Gracias, love you very much. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Lo voy a colgar en Instagram. Voy a ver si lo puedo grabar para pasarlo a YouTube. ¿Ok? Gracias a todas y a todos. Bye, bye.